und uns nicht bevormunden lassen. Und genauso leben wir und werden es auch nicht ändern.
Imagine a man who came up from nothing to head one of the world's most notorious motorcycle clubs. A man both hated and respected, whose existence occupied a gray area between brotherhood and brutality. Here we explore the life of Frank Hanebuth, the forceful president of the Hells Angels, who met the cold steel of prison. Stick with us as we unfold the layers of Hanebuth's existence, from his rise in the outlaw biker ranks to the criminal charges that put him behind bars. If you're fascinated by stories about outlaw bikers and the complicated web of their existence, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell to keep up with our newest stories. Chapter 1. The Early Years.
Seine Version. Präsentiert sich längst als rechtschaffender Unternehmer und organisiert tatsächlich Großevents und Stadtteilfeste.
How does the son of a carpenter turn into a heavyweight in the outlaw biker world? Let us follow the beginnings of Frank Hanebuth. Born on September 21, 1964, in Garbsen, Osterwald, West Germany, Frank Armin Hanebuth came from a middle-class background. Originally trained as a carpenter, Hanebuth took the less traditional route in pursuing a career in professional boxing between 1991 and 1996. Nevertheless, the freedom of the open road and the fellowship of bikers attracted him more. Hanebuth patched into the Bones Motorcycle Club in 1995 and became president of its Hanover chapter shortly thereafter. The Bones MC was well established in Germany, but Hanebuth took it to new heights. His charisma and leadership ability set the stage for a dramatic shift in 1999 when the entire chapter patched over to the Hells Angels. With Hanebuth as their leader, the Hanover chapter thrived and became one of the wealthiest and most powerful chapters in Germany. Hanebuth's leadership was not simply a matter of force and intimidation. He was also strategic. He realized the value of alliances and growth. Under his leadership, the Hanover chapter expanded in influence, and more recruits were attracted to his vision of what the Hells Angels could be like in Germany. Chapter 2. Unifying Power in Hanover.
Ich werde mich mit Sicherheit, ich habe mich mein ganzes Leben noch nie vor irgendwas gedrückt und schon gar nicht vor diesem Verfahren hier, mit Sicherheit.
Let's discover how Hanebuth established dominance in Hanover's red light district. Hanebuth's influence extended beyond the biker community into Hanover's Steintor Viertel, the city's notorious red light district. This area, once troubled by conflicts among Albanian, Russian, and Turkish gangs, saw a likeness of order under Hanebuth's reign. His ability to calm the district earned him both respect and notoriety. Hanebuth was more than a biker. He was an entrepreneur. He used the Hells Angels image to create dominance over protection rackets, real estate ventures, and nightclubs. From these businesses, he made sure that his chapter was not only respected, but profitable as well. He had a reputation for enforcing his rules with an iron fist, making sure that anyone doing business in his territory paid their fees. Local press, such as the Hannoversche Allgemeine Zeitung and the Neue Press, painted Hanebuth in a rather positive light, with an emphasis on his stabilization of the region. Through his lawyer, Götz Werner von Fromberg, Hanebuth developed contacts with Hanover's economic and political establishment, further consolidating his position in the city. He frequently attended top-flight events, standing shoulder to shoulder with movers and shakers, clearly demonstrating that his reach extended well beyond the realm of the biker. Even with his increasing power, Hanebuth's activities caught the eye of law enforcement. Law enforcement officials were fully aware of his business, but could not quite pin anything specific on him. He was cautious, calculating, and always had a legal justification for his activities. But as his empire expanded, so did the pressure from law enforcement agencies, laying the groundwork for his ultimate fall. Chapter 3. Legal Troubles in Germany.
The trial of 49 alleged members of a criminal gang linked to the Hells Angels began on Monday at a packed session of Spain's High Court.
From streets to court, how did Hanebuth's empire land German authorities in its sights? Hanebuth's growing power was not overlooked by law authorities. In 2000, he was charged in connection with efforts to open up brothels in Hamburg. A year later, he was found guilty of serious bodily harm from assault, receiving a 3-year sentence. Though his power had been limited by this misstep, Hanebuth's control of the Hells Angels held fast, and after release from prison, he went on to increase the club's strength throughout Germany. In May 2012, Hanebuth's home in Wedemark was searched by the Lower Saxony State Criminal Police Office and GSG 9, the elite German counter-terror unit. The raids were as part of an investigation into alleged contract murders that were suspected to have been ordered by Hanebuth. The investigation was abandoned, however, by April 2013, when the Kiel Public Prosecutor's Office said there was not enough evidence. Despite these legal challenges, Hanebuth's influence within the Hells Angels and the broader biker community remained unshaken. His ability to navigate legal hurdles and maintain his position of power is a testament to his resilience and strategic insight. Chapter 4. Expansion to Mallorca.
The defendants face a slew of criminal charges, including extortion, money laundering, drug trafficking, pandering, and unlawful possession of firearms. Most defendants arrived by foot or cab to the courthouse, with no sign of the distinctive heavyweight cruiser motorbikes the gang is known for.
What happens when a biker boss sets his sights on a Mediterranean paradise? Uncover Hanebuth's ventures in Mallorca. Pursuing new frontiers, Hanebuth moved to Mallorca in about 2012, with the goal of opening a Hells Angels chapter on the island. His arrival was characterized by extravagance and drive, as he attempted to spread the club's influence in Spain. This expansion, however, caught the attention of Spanish authorities, and a closer eye was kept on his activities. Hanebuth's relocation to Mallorca was aimed at the island's profitable tourist sector. The activities of the Hells Angels involved money laundering, extortion, and getting involved in the island's nightlife, according to allegations. Their activities reportedly spread to real estate investment and the opening of businesses that were used as fronts for illegal activities. The Spanish authorities kept a close eye on the Hells Angels' activities, fearing that the expansion of the club into Mallorca was only a part of a larger plan to invade the European tourist industry. This led them to conduct an extensive investigation, which ended in a massive operation to break up the club's operations on the island. Chapter 5. Arrest and legal proceedings in Spain.
The prosecution has requested a prison sentence of up to 13 years and a $4.56 million fine for alleged former boss and German national Frank Hanebuth.
A high-profile arrest on a sunny island. How did Hanebuth's dream of Mallorca turn into a nightmare of law? Spanish police on July 23, 2013, carried out a massive raid on the Hells Angels in Mallorca. More than 150 armed police officers stormed several properties on the island, including Hanebuth's upscale villa. He and 24 other club members were arrested in what Spanish police called an attempt to break up an international criminal network. The accusations were strict. Hanebuth was charged with being the head of a criminal organization that dealt in drug trafficking, extortion, money laundering, and illegal possession of weapons. The Spanish prosecutors asserted that the Hells Angels had set up an organization of illegal businesses that enabled them to launder money while holding power over the island's illegal economy. Hanebuth was arrested and detained in a high-security Spanish jail. He spent close to 2 years in prison before being granted bail in 2015. Although he was released, he was not out of the woods legally. The Spanish authorities kept gathering evidence against him, and he was obliged to stay in Spain until his case was heard. The prosecution against Hanebuth continued for years. They wanted a sentence of 13 years in prison for him, and substantial fines of more than 4 million euros. The trial, however, was constantly postponed because of procedural matters and the difficulty of the evidence brought by law enforcement. Chapter 6. Discharge and return to Germany.
He rose through the Hells Angels ranks in the German city of Hanover before supposedly leading the crime ring in Mallorca.
Years living under the cloud of the law came to an end. What was the result of Hanebuth's trial? Investigate the outcome of the trial of Hanebuth. Lastly, in January 2023, Hanebuth and his co-defendants testified before the Spanish High Court in Madrid. The trial was a widely covered sensation with media attention from throughout Europe. Prosecutors brought in evidence, such as testaments from previous members and surveillance reports, in an effort to demonstrate Hanebuth's role in organized crime. Nevertheless, the defense claimed that there was no tangible evidence connecting Hanebuth to the crimes directly. They argued that although he was a senior member of the Hells Angels, there was no evidence that he had ordered or participated in any criminal acts himself. After months of courtroom arguing, Hanebuth was handed a shocking judgment. He was cleared of all significant charges. The court decided that the prosecution had not presented enough evidence to convict him of participating in a criminal organization. While some of his colleagues were convicted of lesser charges, Hanebuth was cleared to go back to Germany. With his discharge, Hanebuth returned home, where he resumed a life outside of the public spotlight. In spite of his years living in legal uncertainty, he was still a powerful man in the biker community, although his degree of connection to the Hells Angels after the trial is unclear. Hanebuth's story is a testament to the intersection of loyalty, power, and crime in outlaw biker gangs. His path to fame, court cases, and ultimate clearance are that of a man who succeeded in a world where reputation and force are supreme. What are your thoughts on Frank Hanebuth's tale? Do you think justice was done, or do you feel his release raised more questions than answers? Share your views in the comments below.